The Chicago Blackhawks beat the Anaheim Ducks 5-3 in a massive, much-needed comeback win. And I gotta say, it feels great. It feels great for many reasons. Not just because I was talking shit to a bunch of people on Twitter today, which I brought up many times on stream tonight, but because they were on a 5-game skid. They were on a 5-game losing streak. They were 0-4-1 through their last 5. They needed a win. They needed a win, get back on track. A lot of the losses over the past 5 games, outside of that Buffalo, atrocity, they were close games. These guys were battling. They were honestly unfortunate to not win a couple of them. So to deal with the adversity, and then you come in tonight and you have that atrocious start, which was so bad. The start of the game tonight was so bad. They were flat, which we're not used to seeing from this Blackhawks team. Normally we see them, fall apart and die in the second period. But normally this team's been able to start fast every single game, it's felt like. But not tonight. They started behind the 8 ball and went down 3-0 early on and just had nothing going for them through that first 10 minutes. And then they turned it around. And the first guy I got to talk about, the first person I have to talk about, this win completely and utterly came off the back of their superstar first-line center, Connor Bedard. It all came through Connor Bedard. 2 goals, 2 assists, 5 shots on net, 58.3% from the face-off dot. That was the talk coming into the year. Is Bedard a center? Bedard should be on the wing. He can't win face-offs. He's not defensively responsible enough. Connor Bedard was an absolute dog today, completely pulling his team on his back, willing them to a win. And yeah, I got to talk about the face-off percentage because that was the criticism for him and Nazar coming into the year. Are these guys centers? Of all Blackhawks players today who took 3 or more faceoffs, the only 2 guys that were above a 50% clip, Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar. All right, these guys are doing whatever it takes to win. Right, we've seen this in early on in their careers with Bedard and Nazar, that they are going to do whatever it takes to win. They're going to improve whatever in their game they need to improve upon, and it's beautiful to see. Frank Nazar is finally starting to get back. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I retweeted a Ben Pope article today talking about some of the Nazar struggle and that he's been injured, and that has a lot to do with it. He's been nursing probably a hip injury, but he's starting to get back to speed. You saw it in the last game against Nashville, and then again tonight. He's starting to get on pucks more. He's going into the corners and winning those battles we're used to seeing 91 win. He's getting on the puck, carrying it through the neutral zone with speed, driving play. We're starting to see that again, and that's a really good sign for the Chicago Blackhawks because I think that is the main catalyst as to why they've struggled as of late. It's been the lack of electric play from Frank Nazar on that second line. When you have Bedard firing the way he has been all season long on that first line, and then you have Nazar playing at the top of his game on the second line, that is a 1-2 punch down the middle of just dynamic skating, a ton of offensive ability, a ton of grit and determination between those two. Despite being undersized, they both want it so bad. And so Nazar with the point, Bertuzzi tips Nazar's shot on the power play in the first period. So Nazar didn't get the goal, but still, you're starting to see those habits. You're starting to see those things you're used to seeing from Frank Nazar when he's playing at his best. So hopefully that injury is starting to affect him less and less and less. And I think once we get Nazar back to 100%, we're going to start winning a lot more games. I really do believe that. But Connor Bedard was sensational tonight. He was sensational everywhere. In the neutral zone, in his own end, in the offensive zone. Anytime he had the puck on his stick, things were happening. And it's no surprise. I feel like a broken record talking about Connor Bedard on this channel. He's just fantastic every single night. He is not an emerging superstar. In my mind, he is a true superstar. I didn't even check the stats, but somebody in chat said that tonight's performance has him up back to second in the league in points, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it like it's fact because I don't know why you would lie about that. Connor Bedard is a superstar. He has arrived. He is here, and he is playing like a superstar every single night. I said on stream tonight, when was the last Bedard game you remember? He had a couple of games this year, maybe 3 or 4 where he was kind of quiet, wasn't super effective. But when was the last time you saw Connor Bedard play a bad game? I don't think it was this year. You'd have to go into last year, and it wasn't at the end of last season. You'd have to go like deep into last year to find a bad game from 98. It's been that long. He's been that good, and it's a beautiful thing. But the Anaheim Ducks have been fantastic this year. They are 15-9-1. They're first in the Pacific. And now the Chicago Blackhawks have beaten them twice in like really good back and forth tight checking games. They've beaten them twice now. And so it's a positive. It's a positive, especially when if you'd go on Twitter over the past week and a half or so on Blackhawks Twitter, you would think that the world's ending. You would think that the sky is falling and that it's over for this team. Everybody on Twitter, oh, this is a bottom 3 to 5 team. Just wait. Your second best player has been playing like a shell of himself because he's been dealing with an injury. When he's not doing that, when Nazar's firing and you got Bedard 1-2 down the middle and your young defensemen are skating and moving the puck up the ice and you've got Spencer Knight, one of the best goalies in the world, behind you in net, this is not a bad hockey team. When you've got like guys like Ilya Mikheyev, Ryan Donato, Jason Dickinson in your bottom 6, it's a solid team. It is a decent team. And so I really do believe the Chicago Blackhawks are not going to finish in the basement of the NHL this year. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No. I think they're going to be a few points, a couple spots outside of the playoffs, and I would be so okay with that. However, if the Chicago Blackhawks are able to make the playoffs this year, I think Connor Bedard will absolutely run away with the Hart Trophy. I really do. He is carrying these. I know there's been a lot of talks about Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight was okay tonight. What was his save percentage? It wasn't above 900. It was 885. He was good. He responded well after the blunders in the first, which weren't really on him. Like that first goal, bad pinch by Vlasic, and then on 2-on-1, Crevier needs to take away the pass, and he just doesn't. He kind of does this awkward thing where he just stands in the middle, doesn't take the pass away, doesn't take the shot away, and so Knight couldn't really do much on that. But Spencer Knight's been fantastic, don't get me wrong. Connor Bedard has been dragging this team into the fight every single night. Even after they go down 3-0 today, it was Connor Bedard who was getting the puck and carrying into the offensive zone with speed and battling in the corners and still showing that will and that determination to win the game, even though, shit, man, I'll even agree. I didn't think they were, after that first period, I was like, we're done. I'm like, another one of these? Really? Like, I wasn't writing them off for the season, but for the game tonight, I was kind of even checked out a little bit mentally, but not Connor Bedard, and that's what makes him a superstar, is that desire, that hunger, and you saw it at the end of the game, him going back and forth, jawing with McTavish, and then he scores the empty net goal and immediately doesn't celebrate with his teammates, doesn't look like he's happy, immediately starts talking shit to McTavish and the entirety of the Anaheim bench, and I absolutely love to see that as a fan. I was so worried when the Blackhawks draft Connor Bedard. What kind of guy is he? What's his temperament? How badly is he going to want to win? Is he going to be one of these guys that like superstar, showtime, here for the paycheck, score points, but not really dig deep and work on the areas of his game and do things that it's going to take to win? No, Connor Bedard is a dog who loves the battle. He loves the battle. And I just think that's a beautiful, positive thing for Blackhawks fans. And for me personally, I just want to root for a guy that cares more than I do. And that's what 98 is. 98 is a guy who, say what you will, whatever your critiques of Connor Bedard are, whether you still don't think he's fast enough or he's not good enough in his own end or he's not reliable enough here, whatever you're going to say about Connor Bedard, you cannot say that he does not care. You cannot say that he does not compete. You cannot say he does not give a shit. And that's really all I have to say about him. Like, I can hang my hat on that, knowing that Connor Bedard wants it more than I do. What a beautiful game, man. The defense was all right tonight, that shaky first period, but then I thought they responded well. I thought, Levshinov and Kaiser were both -2s tonight, but I thought that they were really assertive when they had the puck. They were making things happen in the offensive zone, which I want to continue to see more of. I want to see Vlasic and Crevier continue to grow with their confidence and shoot the puck more and try to be more of factors offensively, because that's the thing with this group is once these young defensemen who we know can skate, who we know can pass the puck, once they start scoring goals and really contributing offensively, this is going to be a very scary team with a lot of weapons in various places on the ice. So much to be bullish about, so much to be excited about. We just got to bask in these wins when we get them. What a win. What a night. What a comeback. What a stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, watching the videos, liking the videos, hanging out in streams. I appreciate it a lot. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. We've got a game on Tuesday against a pretty good hockey team. We got Vegas on Tuesday away. It's going to be a late game, 9 o'clock Central Time. I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be right here on this channel live at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, so do not miss it. I will see you then, and maybe a video in between then. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.